Okay, this project is going to bring you into the world of mandalas. So, as you can see here, a mandala is a geometric configuration of symbols, but really it just means circle ornament, and it can be used as a relaxing tool. What we're going to do on ours is we're going to open up our project that we did as project 2 for this year. So here's an example. Okay, so here's a finished. This is the Illustrator file. What I want you to do is go to the top layer, unlock the top layer. You can see it here. Click on the circle to select everything from that top layer, which should be the smaller head. From there, you're going to go up to the top. You're going to go to Edit and Copy. At that point, you can actually close Illustrator. You're not going to need it anymore. You don't have to save because this is something you should have saved a long time ago. And then we are going to go into Photoshop. Now, once you get to Photoshop, you have to go to File and New inside of Photoshop. Give it a moment to open up the new document window. Once it does, you are going to go to Print Size options at the top. You're going to go to a tabloid size file. You can choose whether it's vertical or horizontal. That's up to you. Make it a 300 resolution. RGB color mode is fine, and hit Create. You're going to get a new white page. Then what I want you to do is go to Edit and Paste. When it comes up like this, what I want you to do is select Smart Object. So it comes up like this, looks about the same size as what we just did in Illustrator. However, what I would like you to do is hold Shift and resize. If for some reason it looks like this, you could, looks like this, and you already hit the checkbox. You can always, remember Photoshop hasn't been that long, give it a second. If this comes up, waiting for libraries, just hit stop. There we go. Remember, you can always go edit, free transform to get that box back. I want you to hold Shift and Option, resize it, make it smaller, about that small or so. And then what I would like you to do is we're going to copy and rotate this. So I'm going to hit the checkbox up top or enter on my keyboard. And then we are going to go to edit. Go to make sure you're on the layer. We are going to copy this, hold Option with the Move tool, hold Option, click and drag so you get a copy. And then we're going to do Command T. I'm going to pull the little dot in the center here all the way to the corner. And up at the top here, this is where I can change the angle. So if I say 20, you see it dips it 20%. And I'm going to say OK to that. I'm going to move this back over so that the corners match up right there. Now I'm going to do the same steps again. I'm literally going to, on my keyboard, another way to copy the layer is I could do Command J. So I hit Command J, I get another copy here. I'm going to do Command T. I pull that little dot to the edge. And then here, 20%. Whoops. Sorry, try that again. Command T, hold it here, move it over here again. So this should now be 40, and then hit OK. So you got to keep adding to it each time. So I'm going to continue to do that until I close it. So Command J, Command T, pull the dot to the corner. You can manually rotate it, or I could have just typed in here 60. You're going to add 20 each time and then hit OK. And then again, Command J, Command T, and then here I'm going to move that dot to the corner. And then here, this is going to be 80. Again, Command J, Command T, move the dot to the corner. And this is going to be 100 now. Now once you get to 100, what I want you to do is hit OK. Go over to your Layers panel here. Hold Shift, grab all of the layers, take the Move tool, move them over a little bit. We want to now copy all of these layers. So we're going to do Command J while they're all selected, and it gives us a whole nother set. I could have also dragged them all down to the New Layer button to make a copy, and that would have done the same thing. Now once I have that whole set of copies, I can do Command T, and then I could right click and flip this, vertically, and I could just move it down. Right? So I get that movement. Now I can still take that little dot, pull it to the middle, rotate it, so it all sort of matches up with the way we'd like to see it. Okay? I could continue to do that with any of these pieces. I could do them individually, Command J, Command T, pull the dot, move it over here, and go over and manually rotate it. And you can continue to do that until you get one full sweep all the way around, one full circle. And you start getting a really nice design made up of what you had already created in a previous project. So I'm doing the same steps over and over. You can do it either way until you get all the way around. Command J, Command T, pull the dot, rotate. Command J, Command T, pull the dot, rotate. Doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over. Okay. When you get to one of these where there's an opening here, you have an option. I mean, you can kind of take one of them. Like I could take this one. I could copy it. I could move it so it's sort of in between. I could rotate it so it fits in the exact way that I would want it to fit in. You could sort of match it up and decide how much or how little or wherever you'd like. Maybe one's a little bit off like that, and that's fine. We're going to now take all of these from the bottom all the way to the top. Hold Shift, right click, merge them together. They become one layer that you can now move around. So we could take this layer now, copy this one, do Command T, resize it, move it, and then I could take that layer and just move that layer right underneath. So now you have this beautiful kind of looking piece that's starting to come together. If you then go online and you look up black and white designs, it's supposed to be designs, sorry, you're going to get all sorts of patterns and things like this. And what could be cool is you take one of these patterns that you find, you click on it. After you click on it, you take it, you drag it, you drop it right into your picture. Once it comes in, you do Command T, you resize it to fill the screen, kind of like that. I'm going to pull it all the way to the top for a moment. If you see any lines, like I stole this one, right, and it has that little marking on it, the little watermark, you just go to Image, Adjustments, and Threshold, and you can remove it by messing with the slider here until it disappears. Now, color-wise, you can add to this. You can take your paint bucket on the side here, choose your colors, and begin to fill any of these in. Okay, get the idea? And then you can switch colors. You can do whatever you want with color. That's totally up to you. I'm not going to tell you what to do with that. I'm just giving you an idea here of how far you could go and what you could do. And then you take it and you drag it underneath. And then these other ones you could just kind of resize, if they're a little too big or they're a little whatever, you resize them a little bit. You create your own new mandala made up of your original one. Obviously everything will be colored in at that point. You can also use gradients in any of this. I forgot to mention, if you go and you make a selection with the eyedropper tool inside this area, just let's say like that, I'm on the layer 1 here and I make that whole selection, I can take the gradient tool, choose a gradient up top, click, find the gradient that I want to try to use, and then click and drag and throw in that gradient. I could even do a gradient that's like this up top here. You see a radial gradient, and I can sort of get it like that. Okay, and then Command D, you can see it. And now this is a Photoshop file, so from here you would do a regular save, of course, but you would also do a save as and save it as a JPEG file into your folder.